afternoon and welcome to the webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. We can see people starting to trickle into the attendee list right now. Richard, good to have you. Thanks for joining us. Annette, glad to have you join along. Al, good to see you. Khalid, nice to see you on there. Thanks for joining us, Mara. We appreciate you taking time out of your afternoon to learn more about our medical billing franchise opportunity. Steve, good to see you as well. Tanya, thanks for joining. Nice to see you on the list. Glad you could all join us, and we are going to run through the sales process that we help our licensees execute on as they grow their businesses today. We're going to give just an extra minute or two for people to get logged in. And, you know, sometimes you have Zoom misbehaving, so we'll let everybody sort out the audio and video issues for the next minute or two. But while we wait, let's go ahead and do a quick test. So if you wouldn't mind, sure would appreciate letting us know that you are able to hear the audio today. If you would go to your tab, you can say hello in the chat. You can let us know that everything is working properly and that you're able to hear us and everything. So send us a message, give us a thumbs up. I've seen a couple of thumbs up coming through. All right, Tanya, thank you. Thank you for letting us know. All right, audio is coming through loud and clear. It's nice when the plan comes together. And I could see more and more folks are trickling in here, so we'll get started in just a second. Natasha, thanks for joining us. We appreciate having you here. Chris, good to see you. Jamila, thanks for joining us. Good chatting with you yesterday. And I think we are just about ready to get cranking. James, thanks for jumping in as well. Appreciate the comment, Mara. Hey, Chris. Glad to have you here, and thanks again for joining us. We do greatly respect you taking time out of your afternoons to learn more about the business opportunity here. So let's go ahead and get started. So my name is Jason Pettit. I'm the VP of Business Development here at American Business Systems. I've been with ABS for 15 years, and hi, James. Nice to see you. Thanks for dropping a comment in. VP of Business Development. So I've been with ABS for 15 years. ABS has been helping people start successful medical billing businesses for almost 3 decades. This year, we celebrated our 29th anniversary. So I've been along for about half of the ride, and wonderful to be here and working with a really good group of folks. And there's nothing in the world like helping people start their own businesses and seeing them quickly become successful and get clients and, you know, grow a business that fits their lifestyle. So I came from a mortgage background and left the mortgage industry back when the whole industry was falling apart. And I was so thankful to get out of the mortgage industry. And it's fun because, you know, these days when I'm talking with folks who are looking into the ABS opportunity, a lot of times they're trying to get out of an industry that's crumbling or having challenges. And I can identify with that. And when it works out and they launch a business with ABS, it sure does feel nice to help someone escape the rat race, if you will. So ABS, like I said, we've been around for almost 3 decades. We've got all kinds of different channel referral partners and folks that we work with. But in particular, we've been connected to FranServe, which is the nation's largest franchise consulting organization, and their sister company, Franchise Dictionary. For the last few years, we have been ranked in their top 100 game changers. They've got several other categories that we're ranked on as well. But if you are looking into franchises and you know, you like to learn about industries and the opportunities that are out there, Franchise Dictionary is a fantastic magazine. I will tell you, you will not find anything in that magazine at a lower investment and better opportunity than American Business Systems. We are one of the very, very few investments less than $30,000 all in. We have started this business from humble beginnings. Our CEO, Adam, is going to join us in just a minute and talk about our history. But we have everything that you need to start a successful medical billing business. You can see the list of services there. Our owners are able to offer 10 different services, revenue cycle management solutions for physicians. And if you have gone to our website, you may not have noticed the big blue button in the top right corner, but we would recommend downloading the 5 Secrets to Medical Billing Success by clicking that button, and then you can put your information in the form, and it'll give you download access right away to the PDF. It's an ebook that you can go through, and it's a good rundown of the basics of starting a medical billing business with American Business Systems, and what the value is to the physicians. We've got a lot more folks who have joined us since we checked the audio, and I want to remind you again, when you have questions throughout the webinar, please feel free to go to your Q&A panel tab, click on the Q&A button, and you can type your question right into that panel. We're going to see those questions throughout the webinar, and if we can get to them during the webinar, we certainly will. If we can't get to them during the middle of the webinar, we're going to have a Q&A section live at the end, and we're going to take everybody's questions, and we'll do our very best to try to get through all the questions that come up throughout the webinar. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce the CEO of American Business Systems and my best friend, Adam Phillips. We've known each other since grade school, and Adam, appreciate you joining us today, and I'll let you take it from there.
Hey, thanks, Jason. Glad to see everybody on the webinar today. We got some great information to share with you. For those of you that may not know, we do these every week, and there's always something to learn about the industry, about medical billing, about starting a business in general. So we've got some great stuff that we're going to share with you today. I want to talk real briefly about some of the marketing tools that we have put together for our owners, our business owners to use, and this is just one of many of them. I co-authored this book with one of our partners, a retired surgeon, Vicki Ragnar, and we actually interviewed hundreds of doctors about their money challenges that they've had, from starting their own practice. There were new doctors that had just started their practice. We interviewed doctors that have been in practice for many, many years, and they shared with us their thoughts on things that they did right, things that they did wrong, and we were able to compile all of that information and narrow it down to these 9 different ways that are really impactful for the doctors, and ways that they can avoid some of the money mistakes that doctors had made that we had interviewed. So anyway, this book, as well as several other books that we've written, you can actually use as an excellent marketing tool. And what it does is it educates doctors on revenue cycle, and it builds your credibility as a business owner, because the doctors view you as much more of a true consultant who's like trying to help them out in a lot of different ways rather than just sell them something. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. You are not going to be viewed as just another salesperson trying to knock down their door. So this is a picture of my parents. This is a family business. My parents actually founded ABS way back in 1994. So like Jason said, we've been doing this for almost 30 years now, long, long time. We're based out of Texas, but we have some business owners kind of spread out all over the country. And we're looking for more. There's plenty of room for more people to launch their business with this. And that's probably why you're here today. So yeah, actually, I have a question for everybody on this webinar. I'd like to know, just kind of get some feedback from you if you would like to, we love it when people interact with us on these webinars. So in the Q&A box, tell us why you're here. Why are you learning more about starting a medical billing business? Are you in healthcare right now? Are you, from a completely different background? Tell us about yourself. I'd love to know. And of course, if you have any questions as we go, feel free to type those in as well. But I'd love to kind of read some of that and just see where everybody's coming from, if they've been in healthcare or not, because you don't have to have any kind of experience in this industry at all when you start your business with ABS. So Jason, I'll hand it back over to you, sir.
Okay, and we'll keep our eyes peeled for people putting in the Q&A panel the reasons that they're here. It's pretty interesting. Everybody comes from a different sort of background and industry and has different motivations for starting a business like this, but there's definitely commonalities. So if you want to share your story with us in a couple of sentences, please throw it in the Q&A box, and we'd love to get to know you a little bit. And if you have any questions, like Adam said, it makes it a lot more fun on these webinars when we've got some good questions to answer. Okay, so today we are talking about the secrets to getting medical billing clients. And one of the things about being on the phones, talking with people that are looking to start a new business is one of the primary concerns that people have is, well, I'm not good at sales. How am I going to do sales? I'm terrified of sales. I'll do anything, but just please not sales. And we understand that, and virtually everybody that we talk to has no interest in doing sales. And it's understandable because we have some preconceived notions about sales, don't we? When you think about sales in your head, you probably are thinking about a guy that looks like this guy, right? The greedy little, car salesman that's pushy and slimy, and you just know you can't trust him. And, a lot of us don't like even going to a car lot because you've got to deal with some of these types of salespeople. You also have the getting people to sign an agreement that they don't want to sign. And, how are you going to do that? And a lot of times I'll hear people say, how do I convince a doctor to do business with me? And boy, good luck convincing a doctor to do anything. We're going to talk about ways today to get around that. And one of the worst sales environments, in my opinion, on planet Earth is those calls that we get nonstop on our phones. I probably get 30 spam calls a day of, somebody trying to get me financing or, a tax refund or any number of things, or, the extended warranty. No, I do not want to talk about an extended warranty for my car. So we have these notions in our head. Everybody that I talk to says, I don't want to go door to door. I don't want to do door-to-door sales. I don't want to do cold calling. Not very many people do. The rare exception is every once in a while, we'll get someone looking into American Business Systems that has a medical sales background or a sales background in a different industry. And, of course, a professional salesperson has no qualms about going door to door, but that's not part of our marketing strategies. And then the last thing is, you get this notion in your head that you're going to go in and speak with the physician, and the doctor's going to get mad at you, and they're going to say, get out of here. We don't want any of this, no soliciting. And they're going to kick you out the door. And I think there's a certain amount of terror that happens when, you're in that environment and you think about the doctor, telling you no, or the office manager yelling at you or something like that. We had one of our ABS owners one time tell us that he was so panicked and frozen with fear, he would drive to do a sales call on a doctor's office, which is not even how we tell people to do that. But in his head, I guess he decided that's what he was going to do. And he would drive up to the doctor's office, and he would be so terrified, he would just sit in his car for 20, 30 minutes trying to get up the strength and the courage to go inside. And then he would just ultimately, he'd be too scared and he'd drive away. And you can rest assured, don't panic. We do not use those kinds of sales strategies. Our owners do not go door to door trying to convince doctors of anything. So we're going to go through our sales processes and dismantle some of those ideas about, conventional sales methods that none of us enjoy. What we're going to be talking about today is the new ABCs of selling. We're going to go over the ABS consultative sales process. And then at the end, we're going to do live Q&A. We've got a lot of folks coming into the Q&A section, by the way. And if you haven't joined us in the Q&A panel, feel free to go ahead and put your information in there. Adam, do you have any of these coming through? Have you been watching any of these that we need to chat about? I haven't.
I mean, there were just people posting some comments about their backgrounds. I mean, Tanya says, I was formerly in real estate. I have current job instability. I have an entrepreneur mindset, and I'm not very employable, is what she says. So that's great. I mean, this is perfect for you, Tanya. I mean, the entrepreneur mindset is really all it takes to make this business work, because we help you with every step. Dee says she's a registered nurse, works for a large health insurance company. Mara says, currently in medical billing and coding, a certificate program through University of Central Florida. Always wanted to start a business and be in the medical field. Hi, Mara. Dee says she's ready to start her home-based business. I have the experience. I have experienced the need. Markinson says, I'm going to start an online training in medical billing this month. Okay, that's great. You definitely do not have to take any additional training or schooling aside from what our program provides, but any education that you get, any knowledge that you get is certainly going to be helpful for this. Annette does not have a healthcare background, self-employed as an executive assistant. I think this may be a good opportunity to grow my business. Al Patel says, I've had my own business for the last 20 years, but I finally want a business where I have flexibility between family time and work time. I have no medical background. That is an excellent comment there, Al, because you actually are able to, once you get this thing built up, you can make your own hours. We had a lady, you remember in Yuba City, tiny little Northern California town, Yuba City, California. Tierney was her name, and she did not really like to work a whole bunch. Her number one goal with this business was to have her own time, her own family time, and she got to the point where she very quickly hired people to do the billing work for her. And she said, you know what, I'm going to go into work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And that's it. I don't want to work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And she didn't. And it was working out really well for her. So excellent, flexible business with this. James is a jet engine mechanic, retired Army National Guardsman. Says, I'd like to be my own boss, set my own hours, something that can be small or scalable if I choose to do so. And that's exactly what you can do. You can keep this small and home-based. We have owners that also take it to the moon, and they have hundreds of clients, dozens of data entry people, and the whole 9 yards, and they're doing 7-figure revenues. I mean, very, very large or small, whatever you want it to be. So good comments there.
Excellent. I want to add another data point on top of your discussion about Tierney. Tierney, as far as I know, had the largest client of any ABS owner in our 3 decades of history. She had a 97 doctor group practice. So she was working 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but she was making, like 6 figures a month, literally. So, you can control your own destiny with a business like this. A lot of great information, and we appreciate all of you sharing a little bit about your backgrounds. It's so interesting to see the wide variety of industries and experience levels that, the new owners have coming in.
Yeah, Tierney liked to joke. She would do reference calls. She would take calls from people who were looking into the ABS business, and she would joke with them. She would say, yeah, I've been doing this for about 7 years now, and I have 1 client. What? You have 1 client? Yeah, 1 client. Well, it's a group practice with 97 doctors in it, but it's 1 client. So she was trying to make a joke there.
Yeah. Made a pile of money. Mm-hmm. Speaking of successful licensees with American Business Systems, let's go ahead and start our first section here. And again, we're talking about the ABS sales process, and we're talking about the fear of selling and how to overcome that. So I'm going to talk about the very first person that I ever worked with American Business Systems 15 years ago, when I first got on the phones answering questions and, didn't know anything. One of the first people that I talked with was Deb Boehner. She was on the East Coast, and her background was medical billing. She was a medical biller. I think she'd been a medical biller for the same doctor, I want to say maybe 30, 35 years. She was approaching retirement. And when I started talking with her, she'd already been looking at ABS for several years. She just was too scared to make the decision. Mm-hmm. And, when I was talking with her, she said, I want to do this so bad, but I'm just so scared of sales. I'm scared if I start this, I won't be able to get clients. But she said, I see the doctor that I work for and how much revenue comes from this office. And when I do the math, I would make way more money if I was doing the billing for him as my own company versus being on salary. I think she made $35,000, $40,000 a year. And you can make quite a bit more than that with certain types of practices. So anyway, what I told her was, I said, American Business Systems has a 100% money back guarantee. So why don't you just invest the money, take one step, come out to training. At that time, we were doing training live in Dallas, and see how it feels. If it doesn't feel right, get your refund and move on. And at least you took a step and you can feel good about that. So I'll make the story nice and short. She showed up at training. I met her. She was very nice, very timid. And her husband came as well. And I'd never talked with her husband. And her husband was standing there like this. The guy was like 6'8", and did not look like he was supportive at all of her decision. And he did not look very friendly. By the end of the week, they were all smiles. They were super excited. And then the end of the story here is, in her first 12 months, Deb got 8 clients. So she went from terrified to do sales and questioning if she could even get a single client to following our program and getting 8 clients. That was the first person that I ever talked to that invested with ABS 15 years ago. So we've got hundreds of stories like that over the years. And let's get into the topic at hand. Adam, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, comment. Go back to that picture real quick. Now, if you squint real hard, everybody on here, you can see there's a little bit of a height difference there. That's Patrick. That's my dad. He was taking pictures with people at the graduation. But look at Deb Boehner. I mean, little sweet, little mousy Deb Boehner. Does she look like a sales rep? Does she look like a salesperson? No, she does not.
Yeah.
She was able to take our principles and our marketing methods and utilize our support team, because we have experts that have been there, done that. They know how to handle the whole process that we're going to show you today. And she made it work. She made it work. So you can do it too. That's my point.
Yeah, absolutely. She was very, very timid, but 8 clients. So what I always say is, if Deb can do it, anybody can do it, because she was absolutely terrified. So let's get in, talk about these strategies. How does this actually work? So the new ABCs of selling is a little bit of a joke. For those of you that have any type of sales background, you may have heard ABC, always be closing. This was a movie back in the 90s, and it was very sales oriented. It was about this real estate group that had a sales team. And Alec Baldwin was this consultant that they had come in to motivate the sales team to make more sales. And he comes in and gives this speech. If you haven't seen it, look up Alec Baldwin, Glenn Ross speech. And it's got some language, but it's pretty incredible. And it's kind of, if you're in sales, you will run across this at some point in your career. This is an old school philosophy there. It's a very hard driving, conventional sales approach. So we're making a little bit of a play on that, because these days, the conventional sales approach, it simply doesn't work. The salesperson does not have the same authority that they used to have before information became so accessible. Now we have a supercomputer in our pockets, right? Every data point you could want about something that you're going to invest in or purchase, you can get just about anything you want. If you're buying a car, there's websites you can go see every single thing. You can see what the dealer pays for the car, what their profit margins are, and you can go in and just knock that salesperson all around. So the old model doesn't really work. Today, we're going to talk about the new ABCs of selling. And the 3 key words that we're going to go through today are attunement, buoyancy, and clarity. And don't worry if none of those words make any sense, or you can see any way to apply those to sales. I promise you, by the end of the webinar, we're gonna explore each of these very nicely and show you how our sales process lines up into that. So let's start with attunement. So with attunement, you can read the description there. It's the ability to bring one's action and outlook into harmony with other people and with the environment that you're in. From a sales standpoint, the way that translates is listening to your customer. And that is the first step of every single sales process that our owners are taught when they engage with a new client. Let's do the flip side of that. Put it in the doctor-patient scenario. How would you feel if you went into the doctor and the doctor came in and said, "Hey, good to see you. I understand you're not feeling well today. I've got this new medication and everybody seems to really love it. They're getting great results. I'm just going to write you a prescription for it and, go home and start taking it and tell us what you think." you'd say, what in the world just happened? Like, you don't even know what's wrong with me. Yeah, but this medication's great. You're going to love it. And that's how a lot of conventional salespeople approach a sales engagement. They come in and say, we've got this great software. We've got, the best customer service. We're going to work harder than anybody else is going to work on your account and all this other stuff. And, your potential client is just going to say, well, okay, but you don't even know what we need. How are you going to be able to deliver the best service if you don't even know what we need? So we're going to start the very first part of our sales process. When our owners have initial engagement with a potential client, the very first step is a consultation, usually with the office manager, and we're going to teach you how to perform what we call a practice analysis, which is a needs analysis. And Adam, I'll let you talk a little bit about what that part of the process looks like.
Yeah, sure. So, what you really want to do is you want to get an accurate picture of what's really going on in a practice. And the reality is that a lot of office managers and doctors don't really realize all of the trouble spots that they have currently in a practice. Sometimes they realize things, but they just don't want to admit it. But a lot of times they truly don't understand how much it's costing them to collect their money. It costs them a lot of money to collect their money. And so that's the whole point of this, is to sit down with, usually done with the office manager. And what you're looking at right here is actually the results of the sit down meeting with the office manager. So what we do is it's very easy. This process is very easy. We teach you how to do it. We give you a list of questions that are very, very common questions, but a lot of times just things that doctors don't think about. It just asks them different things about, what is your typical rejection rate? How many claims are coming back rejected or denied from the insurance companies? What are your current costs of software systems that you have, and what software systems are you using? Do you have an integrated EHR? Is it a cloud-based platform? What type of staff do you have that's hired, that's doing all of this work for you? What are you paying them? Salaries and benefits. And there's a lot of different questions that you can ask, but it really only takes about maybe 30 minutes to finish that meeting with the office manager. And then you're able to present this analysis after the demo that we do for you. So best practices is we actually recommend that you set up a demo so they can see all of our platforms and get them excited about the tools that we have. And that's another thing that we do for you. We have a demo team that does a full demonstration of all of our platforms, whether or not the doctors are planning on using our platforms or not. Sometimes they don't, but best practices is we want to get them onto all of our integrated platforms because they're going to see the best results. They're going to see the best numbers and the best increase in revenue. So once that demo is done, you hand them this practice analysis, and you can say, based on the information that you provided to me in our initial discussions, I've actually identified several different areas and different tools that are going to absolutely increase your revenue. And it happens by reducing their claim denials, reducing their rejections, because we can actually get their claim denial rate down to less than 2%, which is way, way lower than the national average. We can also get the claims paid and money put into their bank account in as little as 7 days with our platform. So they're getting paid very, very quickly, and we can fix a lot of other major pain points with what we've got. So this is part of the proposal. Let's see if you got some other slides. No, I don't think you do. So this is part of a complete proposal that you're going to put together, that we help you put together. And you can say, based on this information, I've got these 2 or 3 different services here that I know absolutely without a doubt are going to have a huge impact on your revenue, because we've uncovered the proof. The proof is in the pudding, if you will. So we help you put together the proposal with this nice presentation folder, and you've got different flyers for our material, our services that we have that we customize for you. So it's a very, very nice professional looking presentation. And yeah, I do want to mention, going all the way back to that slide with the doctor who was like screaming, "Get out." Why are they doing that? The reason why they're screaming, "Get out of here," is because every other medical biller in town is going in, knocking on their door, cold calling them and walking in and saying, "Hey, are you guys happy with your billing? I'll do it for, 4% instead of 5%. Do you want to work with me?" No, that's not how you do this. You have to really spend time developing the relationship, like what we're talking about, and understanding what their problems are. And so that's why they're so mad, because we don't teach you to do that. We don't teach you to go cold calling. So there we go.
We had one of our owners, we're pretty specific in training. Do not make an appointment with your personal physician and during that appointment try to sell them medical billing services. Please, we beg our new owners not to do that. But, without fail, someone won't pay attention or they think they know better. And every once in a while, we'll have somebody. We had a guy a few years ago make an appointment, and he called me later and he said, the doctor was so mad. He said that, he didn't have a need for these services, and he was very rude to me. And I said, well, hold on a minute. How did you meet this doctor? Well, I made an appointment with him. How did you make an appointment? Well, he's my doctor. So I just, told him I was sick. And I mean, oh, no. There's no positive outcome from that method, 100%. So we do teach these strategies. And if you follow the strategies that we teach, you will get clients. A couple of things I want to add on to this part in the sales process. The reason that people say sales process is because you don't just call someone and say, "Hey, I've got this thing I want to sell you, give me the money right now." Typically a sales process, especially for larger ticket items or services like, a medical billing service, you have a multi-step process, because you have to, in this case, gather the information first. You have to get to know your customer before you can even figure out what you can do for them. So the practice analysis that Adam was describing, that is getting the information, listening, attunement. You're tuned into your customer. You're gathering information so that you can give a proposal that's going to be very compelling and meet that specific practice's needs. It's really critical to do this. We teach you how to do it in training. And if you pay attention and you follow the steps that we give you to do the practice analysis and then do the demo and then give the proposal, it works so well. Over half of the doctors that do a demo and then look at the proposal move forward with your services. Over half. I mean, it's an unbelievably high closing rate. And how do we do that? It's because we listen first. You're tuned into your customer. You gather the information. You give a proposal that shows the increase in revenue. You can see right there on the screen, most doctors increase their revenue 20 to 30%. We put it in writing. That 20 to 30% is going to be on the proposal. And then, they've seen the demo. We have 7 patents on our system. We're partnered with an amazing company called NextGen for our software platform. They see all the features that they're going to have access to. They see this huge increase in revenue. And, that can mean $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month or more for the doctor, increased profit. And then we're also going to help fix those pain points. Boy, I sure wish we could fix fill in the blank. Well, a lot of times we can, and that's going to be on the proposal as well. So another quick story. So the young lady in the middle of the picture there, her name's Bonnie, and she was based, she sold her business, but she was based in the Denver market. This was many years ago. And Bonnie's scenario is pretty interesting. Adam, if you like, you can tell her story. It's a fun one.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people that are looking into this business, they're very concerned about the amount of time that they have to build the business. And so a lot of people ask me, "Hey, can I do this part-time? I have a full-time job and I can't just quit. I've got a decent, income coming in, and I can't just quit right away." And the answer is yes. And the proof is in this story with Bonnie. So Bonnie was working in the IT industry, and she had a cubicle job. Some of you on here may be in a cubicle job. She worked long hours. She worked 60, 70 hours a week at her job in her cubicle. And at the same time, she went through our training program, and then she started building this business, her own medical billing business, part-time. So what she was doing is she was taking, like an early morning networking breakfast and going out to breakfast. She was also doing luncheons. She was doing things in the evening, things in the week, on the weekend, basically talking with folks and networking and doing it whenever she had time, which was part-time. And so within a matter of, I don't remember how long it took, but by her first year or so, she had a couple of clients signed up, and she continued signing up clients to where I think it was by maybe her third or fourth client, because she was actually making really good income at her job, 6-figure income at her job. And I think it was by her fourth doctor that she signed up. She sent us an email and said, guys, guess what? I did it. I got my fourth client and I quit my job and I'm doing this full time now. So great story, man. It was just really cool.
Yeah, I just switched the slide. One of her clients was a physician that had just a practice that was just in turmoil. When she did her practice analysis, she determined she could help them increase their revenue more than 50%. I remember that because I remember when I heard it, I thought it was preposterous. And I asked to look at the needs analysis and the proposal because I just wanted to see it. I mean, that is an enormous increase in revenue. The doctor was about to close his practice because he couldn't even make payroll. So she had some incredible success stories with her clients. To add on one more quick anecdote with Bonnie, she was actually, one of the things she was doing was she would pack her lunch, she would bring her lunch to work. And then there was an office complex that was close to the office she worked. And she would drive there, eat her lunch in the car, and then she'd walk up and down the office building and say hi to all the different doctors and say, oh, remember me? I'm Bonnie, I have the medical billing company here. If you ever need me, here's my card. And she did that for months. And then one day she walked in and the office manager said, hey, we were hoping you would stop by today. We just fired our biller. So let's get a proposal done. And she got him as a client. So that's how she built her business, working 60, 70 hours a week as an IT manager. So great story. Once again, if you have not already put a question into the Q&A panel, please do. We've got some questions stacking up there, and we would love to answer your questions as well. It makes it a lot more fun if we've got some interaction. So if you've been thinking about these topics and you'd like to add a question in there, we will get to those shortly. But we do want to start the next of the ABCs here. We're going to do the B for buoyancy, how to stay afloat amid the ocean of rejection and maintain the motivation to move. And, we could go back to the slide of the doctor saying, get out of here, and you do have to have some resiliency of being able to hear no. I don't care what kind of business you're starting. Every single interaction you have with the potential customer is not going to be rosy and fun. They're not going to come running out and hug you when you drive up to the front of the office. You're going to have some rejection. That's just the nature of starting your own business. But one of the ways to think about this is if we consider in this illustration here, if we consider that the green marbles are potential clients that are going to tell you no. And if we said, hey, here's a list of clients, but these clients that are green marbles are going to definitely tell you no. Well, you would obviously just avoid the green clients and you'd go to the blue ones or the red ones or the white ones to avoid hearing no. It'd be great if we could do that. But unfortunately, in the real world, it doesn't look like that. In the real world, it looks like this. So you can't avoid the no's. They're sprinkled in with the yeses. There's an old adage in sales that says you have to go through 9 no's to get a yes. So you're going to have a little bit of rejection when you are going through these processes. But if you look at this picture of all these marbles, there's a bunch of green ones in there, but there's also some really large marbles. Think about with Tierney, our huge success story, a 97 doctor group practice. Well, you could talk to a couple green no's, the no marbles, in order to get to one of those large clients where you're making six figures from a single client. They're out there. You may have to hear no a few times before that, but we do have a secret weapon. Rather than just randomly walking into doctors' offices and cold calling and just rolling the dice every time and having, most people tell you, no, get out of here. I'm going to let Adam talk a little bit about using medical sales reps.
Yeah. And just one more thought on the marbles thing. Sometimes doctors are not playing with a full set of marbles. So you have to, no, yeah. But, this medical sales reps, that essentially eliminates the entire objection of like, I'm terrified of selling. Well, we have had great success showing you how to partner up with medical device sales reps. There's people that sell different devices and things. There's also, of course, pharma reps that sell, drugs to doctors, drug dealers. And we can show you through various resources that we have, very specifically, different hiring websites and different job listings and all kinds of different resources that we've come up with, that you can actually find the perfect person for you that is already, like Jason said, already out there talking with doctors and has a book of business and can sell other things. It's not a conflict. They can offer other things that they, or possibly they're not selling for you, but they're simply become a referral partner for you. So in other words, there are some sales reps, medical sales reps, that are happy to actually do some of the selling and marketing for you. There are other sales reps who may say, you know what, I don't really want to do that, but I do have some contacts that have mentioned to me that they're interested in looking at new ways of saving money, increasing revenue. Maybe they're thinking about switching billing software, or their biller quit, or, who knows what the case might be, but they could certainly put you in touch with referrals. And that's our number one method, is getting business through referrals. So medical sales reps, we have a lot of other methods. We're going to talk about a few more. But, we don't teach you to go out and look for doctors. Doesn't that sound weird? We don't teach you to go look for doctors. We actually teach you to look for power partners, referral partners, people who can put you into. So you may not realize this, but there are a lot, not just medical sales reps, but there are a lot of people in other industries that work with doctors, but they don't do what you can do. And those are the people that you want to buddy up with. And we show you how to do that. We're talking about realtors, IT companies, financial planners, CPAs, attorneys. All of these people go to networking events in your area. All of these people go to Chamber of Commerce meetings. All of these people go and play golf. I mean, there's lots of different ways for you to meet and get those introductions. And that's the secret. That's the big secret.
Yeah. So one of the questions we get all the time on the phone, when people are looking into a business like this, is they ask, well, do you provide leads? Yes. Do you provide lead lists? Do you provide verified appointments? And those are very traditional, lead generation marketing methods. It is much, much more effective to be introduced to the doctor's office by someone that they already know and trust. There is no better lead than working with a professional who already has a relationship with the doctor, that when that professional introduces you, the doctor and office manager respect that referral partner, whether it's a sales rep or their CPA or attorney or whoever the referral partner is. You're coming with automatic rapport, automatic credibility and trust because of the mutual third party. If you work leads, lead list or internet leads or, verified appointments or any of these other methods, you have zero credibility, zero trust, no rapport. They don't know you from anybody else. So, if you want to work leads, we can point you in the right direction. It's easy to buy leads for private practices, but it is a very frustrating endeavor to, pursue leads in this industry. Sales reps are the fastest way to quickly get in front of a lot of doctors and have that credibility already built in. Real quick, I'll tell a quick anecdote. I didn't make a slide for this, but it's in my notes. So A friend of mine actually from a few years ago was starting his business with us, and he exclusively used sales reps to grow his business. And I want to talk about one specific client that he got through a sales rep introduction. So this sales rep introduced him to a 17-doctor hormone therapy. It was a testosterone clinic. They had 5 locations, 3 doctors per location. And then I guess they had, 2 main doctors that rotated between locations. 17 doctors. They did an enormous amount of volume. The average invoice each month that my friend sent to the testosterone clinic was $30,000. Every month he was earning $30,000 a month. So use sales reps. It works. He didn't have to build credibility. He didn't have to build trust. He got a direct introduction from the sales rep. He went through our exact process that we taught him: needs analysis, software demo, proposal, signed contract implementation, and he was off to the races. 30 grand a month. Now that's a large account. That's a really large account, but using sales reps is the quickest way to get in front of doctors like that. So we've got some questions piling in, and we're certainly going to have a few minutes to go into those. We're going into our last section of the webinar. If you haven't already, please put a question in there. We've got questions starting to pile up. We're going to do our best to get to all of them. But if you've got anything that's popped up in your mind as we've been going through these different topics, please throw a question in there, and we'd be happy to answer at the end of the webinar here. So the last section that we're going to go through here is called clarity. Well, what in the world does clarity mean? That seems like a little bit of a weird word to throw here in the ABCs. So clarity is the capacity to help others see their situation in fresh and more revealing ways, and to identify problems they didn't realize they had. So this is what we do when we go through the needs analysis and software demo and proposal process. Our system, iClaim, that's powered by NextGen, iClaim has 7 patents. We have exclusive features that no other system has. And many of the frustrations that doctors experience in their workflows and in their day-to-day operations are completely solved by the system itself. So when we give that proposal and we show, all the different problems that we're going to be able to help the doctor correct, and we show that increased revenue, during that demo, they're going to see exactly right there on screen how we're going to help solve those problems. And again, I want to bring up a statistic here because it's a crazy one. We have over a 50% closing rate when doctors do a demo with our NextGen demo team. Over a 50% closing rate. How in the world do you do that? Well, when you see that you can increase your revenue 20 to 30%, and when you see your top 2, 3, 4, 5 acute pain points in your operations, and we're going to show you right there in the software how we're going to fix them, it's a pretty powerful thing. And doctors take a look at those 2 things. I call it the 1-2 punch. You got, increasing revenue on one side, and then the left hook comes in, and you've got fixing the operational problems. And it's a very compelling presentation to make. And we do that. Part of your investment with ABS is unlimited software demos from our expert demo team. Adam, anything you want to add to the system?
No, that just about covers it, but it's truly cloud-based and runs on any kind of computer. I know we show all the Apple products here because we're big Apple fans, but it runs on any PC, any browser, any Mac, iOS, Android, Windows, you name it. So you as an owner, you do not have to upgrade any hardware or buy new computers. Your clients that you get, no one has to upgrade anything. All they have to do is get on the internet. Everybody's on the internet. So that's it.
Absolutely. And if you have not already seen the software live for yourself, please reach out to your ABS rep. They would be happy to do a software demo for you. It's a lot of fun. We're going to show you how to file claims on the system. That's a big question that, people that work with us and are considering starting a business like this. Well, how in the world am I going to know how to file claims? Let us show you. Get on a demo. We'll show you right on screen how to file a claim, and we will take the fear out of that, because we can teach anybody to file claims on our system. We're also going to show you those patented features that we have. We're going to show you how we're able to get those kinds of results for the doctor, reducing the rejections, increasing the revenue, helping correct their operational problems. We've got one feature in particular, and I'm not going to even say what it is, but we're the only system on the market that has this feature. When we show this feature to doctors, oftentimes doctors and office managers will say, okay, demo's over. Where do I sign? We just saw the feature that we want, and we don't need to see any more. It's good enough to get going right now. And I've been on those demos where doctors have just said, okay, great. The system's great. Let's go. We'll show you that feature live on screen. Contact your rep. If you don't know who your rep is, go to the main website, call the 800 number that's on there, or 866 number, and they'd be happy to direct you to your rep so you can get a demo. Adam, anything else to add on to the software discussion?
Nope, that covers it.
Yeah, we're circling into the end of the topic here. Full disclosure, the ABCs, the main points of this presentation, are taken directly out of Daniel Pink's book, To Sell is Human. It's an absolutely fantastic book, one of the best books I've ever read on sales. And if you're considering getting into this business or any business, jot that name down, To Sell is Human, Daniel Pink. I would strongly recommend giving it a read. It's a fantastic book. And the key points of this webinar were based on that book.
If you have ever tried to get a small child to eat their dinner, if you have ever tried to get your child to do their homework, you're selling. You're selling. That's the point of this book is you're always selling with people that you're talking with. You just don't realize it.
If you've ever had to convince a person to go out with you, you've sold.
So you're saying there's a chance.
You're saying there's a chance, yeah. We're going to take a bunch of questions here in a second. I want to leave you with these last key points. We get questions all the time. Well, how long is it going to take me to get a client? If you go through training and you pay attention and you follow our marketing strategies, you should get your first client in 60 to 90 days. If you don't, you should be on the phone with our support team trying to figure out what you're doing wrong, because you're doing something wrong if you don't have a client in a couple of months. How much can you make? Well, a minimum, the very least amount that you should make, providing just the billing service to a general practitioner or family medicine doctor, you should earn about $25,000 to $35,000 a year. That's a minimum. You can get into much larger income scenarios when they are specialty medicine doctors. Our top 3 types of specialty medicine clients are cardiologists. You can make a pile of money doing cardiology billing, podiatry, and pain management. So we, of course, teach you how to identify those kinds of doctors in your area. And when you're working with the sales rep, ideally that sales rep has connections in the top areas of specialty medicine that our system works really well for. But $25,000 to $35,000 is a minimum. Specialty medicine clients are going to be more like $4,000 to $6,000 a month. But when you get up into group practices of specialty medicine, you get into some, pretty amazing numbers. So even with a very small client, you break even on the $28,990 investment in less than 12 months. So it's super fast break even. Okay, we've got a bunch of questions. So if you want a question answered, you better get your question in quick, because I don't think we're even going to have time to get through all the ones that we have. Adam, do you have one picked? Let's just go ahead and start knocking them out.
Sure. Yeah. Tanya was asking, will the client have to use the ABS software only? If so, is it challenging to get them to convert to new software? The answer is no and no. So everything that we shared with you today, all of the facts and figures and, information regarding lowering their denials and getting them paid faster, everything is based around the best practices that we recommend, which is getting them on all of our integrated platforms. They're going to absolutely see the best results if they get on all of our platforms, but we know that that's not always reality. So you will have different versions of clients. In other words, you will have clients that are using all of our platforms, integrated platforms. You'll have clients that maybe are on a hybrid version where we've integrated with their existing medical record system, for example. There may be some clients where, they're not ready to switch or they're not able to switch, and you can tell them, you know what, I'm just going to jump in there and I'm going to learn your system that you've got, and I'm going to be able to do a better job than you're doing right now, collecting your money. So that's only if you want the business, so there will be different scenarios there. But yeah, as far as getting them converted to our system, it's a very seamless, easy process. And that's something that we also do for you. So once you get a signed contract, ABS and our partners together, we actually do all of the training and implementation. We handle any data migrations. We handle any integrations that might need to be happening with other software systems. So we take care of all that stuff, and we get them to a go live date for you. So we're taking a lot of the burden of the technical side of things off of your shoulders. So pretty cool.
Right.
See a little floating party hat there.
Yeah, man. I didn't even know that was possible. The little party hat floated up. So I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to keep going?
Yeah, I'll take the next. I'll take the next two because they're very similar. So Fid and Mara are both asking very similar questions. We don't do cold calling, so how do we connect with the customers? These two questions were very early in the presentation, so we hadn't gotten into sales reps. But Fid and Mara, in both scenarios, we don't recommend lead generation. We don't recommend lead list or verified appointments or SEO and driving people to your website and getting doctors and office managers to fill out forms to generate leads for you. We found those to be very ineffective, especially in your first year of business, because your website's not even really ranking. It's very difficult to get to the first page of Google results, even in your local market. Again, what we focus on is developing referral partners for our owners, either through business networking groups or through professional medical sales reps, so that you get introduced to the right kinds of doctors and you have that rapport and credibility and trust right there built in, because they're introducing you to doctors that they already have a relationship with. It's 100 times better than lead lists and advertising and all that kind of thing. So, I'm sure these came in early in the presentation, so we kind of already answered those, but just to reiterate. So I'll mark those two. Adam, if you want to take Natasha's.
Just one more thought on Mara's asking about software and lead generation. So we do show you how to utilize software tools such as CRMs, which are customer relationship managers. And so we can show you in our training, once you've done some networking and you start getting some contacts with folks and you start getting some referrals, we show you how to do excellent follow-up campaigns where you're reaching back out to these folks who maybe said no, not right now, but they could potentially be turned into a client later. That's a really key component that we didn't really mention on the webinar today, is proper follow-up. So we do show you how to use software platforms to do that, which is very important. Natasha is asking, is there a platform to find medical sales reps? Natasha, yes, there is. And you have to join our company in order to find out what that is and how to get on it. Mara is saying, for the initial investment, do you offer any financing? Mara, we do not internally do any financing, but we have a company that we work with called Fran Fund. If you have a really good credit score, we can make an introduction to Fran Fund, and they have a lot of different loan products, and they might be able to help you out. So get back with your rep, which, hey, that's me. So send me an email and remind me. I can make that introduction if you want to talk to Fran Fund about funding options there. And
all right, last question.
What forms are supported by the software? Natasha is asking. I'm not quite sure what that means.
It might mean, does it support CMS 1500 and does it do facility billing and everything else?
That'd be a good guess. Yeah. And the answer is, our platform that we primarily use is set up to handle the private medical billing, professional billing is what it's called. So the CMS 1500 medical billing form is what we use with our primary partner that we have. Now we have another technology partner that actually is able to do some dental and hospital billing as well. So our owners can go after clients like federally qualified health centers that do all three. They do medical, dental, and hospital billing. So it just expands your market that much farther with the other partners that we have. So
yeah,
good question.
Pharmacy billing, behavioral health clinics, dental, durable medical equipment, basically any type of specialty medicine you could possibly encounter, laboratory billing, the list goes on and on and on. You won't find a type of billing that we can't do. Now, that said, we do have about 30 different types of specialty medicine that we recommend you focus your marketing efforts on. You don't want to be all things to all people. And we help you focus your marketing on the types of clients that you're going to get the best results out of, and also make the most income. But good question. Okay, so we probably need to wrap up here. We've hit the top of the hour. So Adam, I'll let you just answer that last question from Natasha on the side. So as we wrap up here, really thankful that you would spend your afternoon with us. A couple more things to leave you with as you make the decision and you're circling on, is this the right business for me? We've got a lot of different steps that you can take with us, with your sales rep, in order to thoroughly explore this opportunity. So we have a 65-page PDF. We call it our research guide. If you have not seen that, that is the manual for starting a business like this. Ask your rep for it. They'd be happy to deliver it. We have a fantastic YouTube channel, hundreds and hundreds of hours of content. We do these webinars every week, and so we post the webinars. So if you want to really dig into information, you will not get to the bottom of our YouTube channel. I think it would take a lifetime to watch all the videos on there. Yeah. Also, we are happy to provide a list of owner references, so you can call and talk with some of our owners, ask them questions, and get insight from them about what it takes to get a business like this started and to continue running a business like this. As I already mentioned, if you have not seen a live demo of the software, please reach out to your rep, or call our 866 number, and or send an email to info@absystems.com. If you don't know who your rep is, we'll get that to you. We'd also be happy to provide the purchase agreement. We have a simple 6-page purchase agreement written in plain English. Feel free to ask for that. Your rep would be happy to let you review it. And then when you're ready, schedule a call with your rep, and we'll go over the funding options that we have, what payment methods we accept, and we'll get your first training session scheduled with our trainer, and help you get your business launched, and we'll have you out there marketing in about 30 days. And one last thing, I don't think we mentioned this the entire webinar, but it's one of the best things about our opportunity. We have an unconditional 30-day, 100% money-back guarantee. There is no other franchise on earth that has a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. We put our money where our mouth is. We let you go all the way through the training. You get 10 one-on-one coaching sessions with a live instructor over Zoom. We're going to go through all the training modules. They're scheduled at your convenience. Usually takes about 2 to 3 weeks to knock out the training. And if for any reason you discover that this is not the right business for you, you let us know within 30 days of your investment, and we will issue a 100% refund of the $28,990. Again, there is no other franchise opportunity on planet Earth that has a 30-day money-back guarantee, and we're very proud of it. So that's it for today. If you have more questions, or if you need to know who your rep is, call the 866 number, send an email to info@absystems.com, and we'll get you connected with your rep. But I'd like to thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking time out of your afternoon. And Adam, also thank you for joining as well. And we will see everybody next week.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks for sharing your backgrounds with us, by the way. We are listening to you. We are attuning ourselves to you. See, practice what we're preaching. All right. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye-bye.